Born to Ride is sponsored in part by Rubenstein Law, 1-800-FL-LEGAL, representing riders since 1988. Offices throughout Florida, 1-800-FL-LEGAL.
Hi, I'm attorney Robert Rubenstein, and this is Rubenstein's Rules for Personal Injury. Rule number 1, get an attorney. When you or a loved one have been injured by another's negligence, an experienced attorney can make a huge difference. At Rubenstein Law, we will find all of the insurance, make sure your injuries are documented, and work to get you the best result. While each case is different, a well-known insurance company's own study showed people with a lawyer on average got more money. Call Rubenstein Law at 1-800-FL-LEGAL.
If Instagram is your thing, we're there. We're everywhere. Follow us at #Born to Ride Motorcycle Media, your #1 motorcycle resource.
Thanks for tuning in to Born to Ride TV, the longest-running biker TV show in the world. This week, from the cover of Born to Ride magazine, it comes alive with larger-than-life biker legend from the great state of Texas, Mr. Rick Fairless. Live on Boss Hogg Radio, plus a tour of Strokers Dallas and much more. You don't want to miss it all here on Born to Ride.
Hi, I'm Evel Knievel, and I'm here sitting on my new California motorcycle, limited edition signature series, motorcycle 1 of 500. Behind me is the rocket that I tried to jump the Snake River Canyon in, and the XR 750 that I set several world records with, and a statue that was given to me by Taft Broadcasting at Kings Island, where I jumped 15 Greyhound buses. I have one motorcycle that I've donated or displayed at the Smithsonian Institute in Washington, D.C. This is the other 750 that I have. It's going in my new restaurant. And of course the SkyCycle X2 that I tried to jump the canyon with. Remember, watch Born to Ride.
Evel Knievel, sold separately or with the Evel Knievel stunt cycle from Ideal.
Hi, this is Evel Knievel, and you're watching Born to Ride.
My husband and my son both have bikes, and the whole time they've been, Mom, you got to learn, you've got to do this, you know, come on, honey. And so it was always someday, you know, yeah, I'll learn, we'll find me a bike, you know, it was always in the future sometime. My name's Emily Missildine, and I grew up in Corinne, Utah. I was scared to ride. I had no idea how. We took the bike home on Thursday. Everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. I wrecked. I wasn't wearing a helmet. I didn't have a long sleeve shirt on. I did $6,000 worth of damage to the bike. I hit both sides of my head. It was bad. For a long time, it was kind of stuck in between, get back up on that horse, and I don't care if I ever get on another bike. They held a spot for me, so every once in a while, Cindy would reach out, hey, are you ready? You know, you want to do this? So I just decided it was time. The instructors were incredible. The confidence, the drilled-in safety, I can't talk enough about it. So that first morning of actually getting on the bike, I was very nervous. I was afraid I was just going to wreck, that I wouldn't have control, that I was going to get hurt, that I was going to hurt someone else. I had all of that. The freedom of learning what a friction zone was huge. There was little moments of confidence, and those were even bigger successes for me because it showed me that you can overcome that moment, you can stay in control, and you can stay safe. I'm a stay-at-home mom with a bunch of boys and a crazy house. Getting out on my bike is becoming an escape for me because it takes full concentration and awareness. I don't have room to worry about this thought or that stress because when you're on the bike, that is what you're doing. My son and my husband are over the moon, and I can't wait until we are going to Florida.
The Hog Stars are at it again. They are taking anything on trade. Old hogs, new hogs, even actual hogs. Don't own a hog? We will take whatever you have on trade. From boats to goats, you'll get top dollar for it. Bring your trade to Crystal Harley-Davidson today.
Hello, my name is Rick Fairless. This is my motorcycle shop where big business happens. This is my beer joint where monkey business happens. Come on in, I'll show you around.
Hello, my name is Rick Fairless from Strokers Dallas, Strokers Ice House, Strokers Inc., RF Custom Parts, and Big State Fountain Grill over in Irving. Welcome to my empire known as Strokers Dallas, Strokers Ice House. We love you here with us. I created Strokers out of, I think, necessity. I mean, I worked for the Glidden Paint Company for 20 years, and I was happy doing that. But it was either open mown motorcycle shop and open mown bar and grill and do something that made me happy, something that gave me a creative outlet, or cut my throat. And I decided to go ahead and go with the motorcycle beer joint option. You know, the whole Sensei deal started with a friend of mine by the name of Herschel Walker. They told me all about the Sensei deal. You got to check it out. You got to check it out. You got to check it out. When we finally got around to checking it out, it was like, oh my God, this thing is a big deal. You know, this is some new technology. This is new stuff happening, and we wanted to be a part of it. But when I did the homework, I saw that we could take what we have here, what we do every weekend and every day, and put it in computers around the world. I mean, I think that's awesome. I mean, it's just, the possibilities are endless, and the chance of doing something that really hasn't been done before and being on the cutting edge of something, it's just overwhelming to me, and I'm proud to be part of the Sensei family. I may marry the Sensei family one at a time.
Hey, it's Debbie with Born to Ride. Tune in every Thursday, 7 to 8 p.m. on the Boss Hogg Radio, a fast hour of good talk. Good biker talk, what you really want to hear.
Hey, Rick, welcome.
Hey.
Hi, y'all. Everybody good?
Everybody's good. How are you doing?
Good. We got a beautiful afternoon here in Dallas, Texas, so it's all good.
Awesome.
Rick, it's great to have you on Born to Ride, and you're on the cover of the magazine. Everybody loves that great photo of you guys, and that's your daughter, right?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. She's my daughter and my right-hand person.
Yeah, that's just unbelievable. It's an awesome photo, and we really appreciate you taking the time to be part of Born to Ride.
Thank you.
And that's Lena, right?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, when she was younger, people would say, "What's her name?" And I'd say Lena like the horn. But now you say Lena like the horn, and the young people don't have a clue what it's about.
Yeah, that's funny. You know, speaking of that, right off the bat, how important is family to you? Because we saw you guys sharing some great moments together, priceless moments in Sturgis. And, you know, what did that mean to you?
You know, the whole reason you work so hard and you try to build things up is to have it where your family can enjoy what you're doing. And in my case, you know, Lena will eventually take over my business at some point, and so that's why I am trying to groom her to do more things. And she's got a 4-year-old and a 2-year. She's got a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old. So it's
get it right,
hard.
Grandpa.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, they're 3 and 5, but they're both, their birthdays are in October, so they're fixing to be 4 and 6. But
we'll round
it up.
But
yeah. So Lena is just like me in that she loves to ride, she loves to talk, she loves being part of the industry, and she loves, you know, everything that we're doing. And, you know, I mean, she's been up there doing it as long as I have, you know. So the family is important, and on most days when she's up there, her kids are up there with us, you know. Unless they're in school, they're up there with us, so it's all good.
That's awesome. And you know, there's some priceless moments there in Sturgis together. Is there anything that just stands out of, you know, that whole trip there and back and everything else? So anything that just stands out for you?
Absolutely. We did a bunch of hamster stuff, you know, and I got to ride with my hamster pals, and we did a bunch of charity stuff, and we did some industry stuff, and you know, I've got a bike in the in the Sturgis Hall of Fame Museum, and I had a bike in the Michael Lichter thing, which was awesome. But the coolest thing I did was one morning we went and did the builder's breakfast at the Buffalo Chief, Maryland. Lena and I did. And then when that was over, she and I rode a couple of shovel heads up Van Acker Canyon, up to Nemo, up there to that guest ranch, that place up there. And we ate lunch and drank a couple of Dr. Peppers, and we just sat there and talked to fans and stuff, and it was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. At one point, we're sitting there, and if you've never been up there, it's kind of a dude ranch thing, and it's all old, like an old West town kind of thing, and we're sitting there and on a couple of shovel heads, and they have a wooden bench, and our bikes were parked right in front of them, and a guy comes up and he says, "You know who you look like?" And I said, "Who?" And he said, "You look like Rick Fairless." And I said, "Rick Fairless?" And he said, "Yeah, he's a bike builder from Dallas, Texas." And my daughter said, "This is Rick Fairless."
Smack, smack, smack. This is Rick Fairless.
Rick, you look a lot like Rick Fairless.
Yeah, a lot like him.
Just to be able to ride with my daughter, on a couple of cool bikes side by side is, that's as good as it gets for me.
That's awesome.
And hearing you talk about that, a lot of other people are kind of living that dream, going, "Damn, I wish I could do that," or "That's something I want to do." So I just think seeing it gave everybody a warm feeling that family is important to people, and being with your family and having a great time and sharing those great moments it's a universal thing. Bikers are from very diverse, and we love our family, we love our country, and we love our motorcycles. Isn't that right, Rick?
That's absolutely right. And just being able to, and it's what I tell people. A good thing about getting older is that you are able to share that love of motorcycles with your children, and I don't know. It's just a proud dad moment, whenever she and I ride together, and we ride together quite a bit, as much as we can, and she'll come in early, and we'll get on a couple of bikes and we'll go ride around for a couple hours before we open, or we'll go take a long lunch and ride the bikes just as much as we can,
And, you guys are doing videos, and you got the radio show you're doing, but there seems to be a very important aspect of it, and that's called chemistry. And you guys have great chemistry. Does she ride it? Do you ride it? Or do you guys just wing it, man? How do you do it?
Well, we do the show at 1 o'clock, so at about 12:50, I'll say, "What do you want to do the show on?"
Sounds like us.
Some stuff is planned out, but not a lot of it, because we're so busy doing so many different things and being pulled in so many different directions. But like tomorrow, we're interviewing Emma, who's she's the director of the Sturgis Hall of Fame Museum, there in Sturgis. So we've got her on the show. I had Dave Nichols on the show, last week, and it's just, we try to do maybe an interview a week, but the rest of it, we're just talking about motorcycles or family or the business, or, just what. Sometimes we get in one of my old pickup trucks and we just go riding around just BSing, so it's just kind of all off the cuff.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's something people can really look up to you for just living the dream, and that is the dream. But give me a T for Texas, man. You're a Texan. Tell me what does a Texan? How do they separate themselves from the normal guys? What? Tell me something special about being a Texan.
Tie-dye.
We're gonna get to the tie-dye, but I want to know what is a Texan, man, to you, and how do you separate yourselves? How do Texans separate themselves from the normal guys?
Well, to me, what I see, because we get people that come through Strokers from all over the country and even internationally, and what I see is a lot of people, that wherever they live around the country. And I always ask them, "Where y'all from?" "Well, I'm from St. Louis. I'm from Seattle. I'm from Tallahassee," wherever. There doesn't seem to be as much of a sense of pride as somebody from Texas. You know, when somebody is from Texas, they are so fiercely loyal to Texas and so fiercely proud of Texas, and I don't really know why that is. I think it's just something you're born with, but there's a lot of people that, even a lot of people that work for me, you know, that have moved to Texas from other states, and then once they live in Texas, they want to be a Texan, and they're fiercely loyal of Texas too, so I don't really know what it is.
You know, there's something with Texans, because I'm not talking about Oklahoma, I'm talking Texans here, right? We're going to a break?
There is a difference, yes.
Yeah, there is a break. I had to ask you, we're going to a break?
Yeah, we're gonna have to take and pay a few bills here.
Hang on, Rick, we got a lot to talk about, man. It's awesome. Dave Nichols is with us, too.
That's right.
Editor of Born to Ride. Man, what a show, people. Go get Mama from the kitchen and get them out here to watch this and listen to this. We'll be right back.
Find us on Facebook, Born to Ride TV and magazine, the ultimate multimedia biker experience.
Seattle Engraving Center, the masters of gun customization, featuring incredible detailed engraving, 24-karat gold plating, diamonds, gems, murals, amazing gold accents, first-class quality, 100% satisfaction. More bang for your buck from their showroom. Raise money for your charity with a one-of-a-kind prize. Seattle Engraving. You dream it, they will create it.
You're just this colorful character, the tie-dye, man, the bikes. I mean, the creations you create, and it's like, I was told, you know, people say, oh, he's like a throwback from the 60s and 70s, man, that whole concept of design. Tell us about the design of your concepts, and where do you get that inspiration from to create motorcycles like only you do?
About, I don't know, 15 or 20 years ago, a lady said, I was working with a lady, and she said, you're a pretty good marketing person, Rick. And I consider myself a pretty good marketing person, and she said the whole tie-dye and Chuck Taylors and the hippie thing, that's all good marketing. And I said, that ain't marketing, that's just who I am. And I think it goes back to, you know, when I was a kid and when I grew up in the 60s and the 70s, and I've held on to it, and, you know, it seems to work for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, you got a niche. How did your family say, who are you inspired by? How did your parents inspire you, or did you just run out and create your own, blaze your own trail? I mean, someone had to give you some inspiration as a kid, or when did you first pick up a wrench, or when did you start riding or creating?
When I was about 7 years old, my great uncle had a ranch in East Texas, and he was my mom's favorite aunt and uncle, and they had some dough, and they had a big ranch in East Texas, so my mom would go there a lot and drag us kids, and he had a couple of motorcycles on there, so that was the first time I got to ride one, and it just like hit me right in the teeth. I mean, once I rode, you know, it was a little mini bike, I just loved it. And so from the time that I was 7, he gave me a mini bike that I could take back to Irving, and since that time I've never been without a motorcycle.
And what about the inspiration from your parents?
My dad had a BSA 650 when I was young.
Ooh, so did my dad. Woohoo! His was royal blue.
My dad's was black, was red and black. And his best friend at the time had a Triumph 650, and he was on his way to our house from downtown Dallas, and he got killed on it. So his parents didn't want anything to do with it, so they gave it to my dad. And my dad, he sold his BSA, and he kept the Triumph in the garage, but he wouldn't ride anymore, you know. But he never discouraged my brother and I from riding.
So Rick, you're a motivator. You get a lot of people working for you, and we're going to talk about your bar and the strokers, and you got a lot of stuff going on. But you know, how do you motivate people in a success-driven world or a motivational type of world? I would consider you an entrepreneur. You had an Easy Rider store that turned into Strokers, is that right? But all along, you've had to do deals and sell bikes and create and motivate and inspire people. What is, if you could help out anybody out there, what would be, like, I'd say, a secret to success, or at least to keep on keeping on?
It's easy, and one of the things I do that I enjoy doing is I am a motivational speaker. So I've actually lectured for a bunch of different companies. I've also lectured at Texas Christian University, TCU, 3 times. I've lectured at DePaul University twice, and I like talking to people that listen, you know. And I've gone to trade schools and high schools, but the bottom line, you know, if you could put it all in a synopsis, is you can be whatever you want to be. You can do whatever you want to do if you want it bad enough. You know, how bad do you want to lose weight? How bad do you want to get a promotion? How bad do you want to, you know, live in a nicer house and drive a nicer car and make more money? You can get it. You can there at the radio station, and Dave Nichols can, and I can. We all can, if we're willing to pay the price. You know, so if you're punching the clock and you're coming in at 9 o'clock every day, your hour's 9 to 6 with an hour for lunch, come in at 8:30. Come in at 8:30. Don't punch in till 9. Take your lunch break and work through the lunch break. You know, stay later. Volunteer to do things. You know, when you think, I'm just working, I'm doing all this, and the boss doesn't notice, he notices. He notices.
Mm-hmm.
He notices when he comes in and the light's on in your office or your cubicle, or when he sees what you're doing. I mean, it's what do you want, and how bad do you want?
So you say
when I give my speech, you know, and I tell them at the very end, and it's true, if a dumbass like me can be successful, anybody can. How bad do you want it?
How bad do you want it?
So you don't like those guys that come in late and go home early. They got to come in early and stay late. That's my kind of guys too, that have your back, you know. But to motivate that is a constant everyday adventure. Your slogan, though, one of your guys told me you got a slogan, and I've heard it before: get to work. You can't work all day. You can't work all day if you don't start in the morning.
No, that's right. You know, and I mean, it's just, you know, a new employee doesn't have to work there long before you figure out if they're going to make it or not. You know, and if it's just somebody punching a time clock, or as we call it, a warm body, if it's just a warm body, I don't want that guy. I don't want that guy. I'll try to mentor that guy, and I'll try to get that guy, you know, to step it up. But most of the time, if they don't want it, you can't make them take it.
Yep.
You know, so.
Well, and you know what else, Rick? All of us here are doing what we love, and that's a big part of it too. You know, I know that's true for you, Rick. You're doing what you love.
Yep. No, absolutely, and that's why you know, I try to hire people that are enthusiasts, because the enthusiast doesn't mind working harder, and he doesn't mind, being at work longer, you know, but if he is a motorcycle enthusiast, you know, so they seem to always work out better.
And, you know, during COVID and everyone that had struggles with their businesses and everything, that brought a lot of cream to the top, too. There were some companies that had people that just jumped ship, and then there were others that grabbed a bucket and helped bail the water. And that really separates, you know, a lot of people. And I think, you know, as bad as the whole COVID pandemic has been, it did show a lot of businesses who their loyal, you know, people are that stuck by them. So you're right about that.
Wildwood Antique Malls, 3 amazing locations to find your treasures in Florida. Vero Beach, Eustis, Wildwood. More than just antiques. Tons of rare collectibles, toys, books, vintage furniture, records, jewelry, and so much more. Open 7 days a week. Great staff, clean, and air conditioned for your shopping pleasure for the whole family. So put it on your bucket list because it's a must-see for these 3 locations. For more information, wildwoodantiquemalls.com.
So there you go, people. Your dream can come true, and it doesn't matter what you start out in life. It's what you want to do in life. And to have a dream, to have a goal is so important, isn't it, Rick, to be focused on a dream?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It goes back to how bad, what do you want and how bad do you want? You know, I wanted to be the #1 sales guy. You know, I mean, I'm like the guy, the big guy at the buffet line. You know, I go through the buffet line and I say it's pizza, and I got a big plate of pizza, and as I'm sitting there eating that pizza, I'm watching that line. And then I see, hey, they're bringing out some more pizza. Well, you still got some pizza on your plate. Yeah, I know, but this is the I got to go get it. I'm that guy. I'm the guy that just
You're that guy.
Stuff on my plate, and I can't stop. Whatever I have, I want more. I want better. I want cooler. I want neater. You know, I'm that guy.
Man, it's so inspiring speaking with you. The motorcycle creations that you create. Tell us about the one that's on the cover of Born to Ride. That bike is just the standout. I mean, it's unbelievable. Tell us about that bike, Rick.
Well, that bike is called Pam, and I call it Pam after Pam Anderson because it's really curvy. Pam's got 2 tubes. The left tube and the canister at the bottom of the tube is gas, and then the right tube is the oil tank. And I wanted something completely different is why we came up with that, and it actually rides really good. And my daughter rode it around in Sturgis this year. You know, and it's just I don't know, it's just the whole 60s and 70s vibe, and when I'm doing a bike or designing the bike or we're building the bike, I kind of get lost in it, and ideas are easy for me. I've got thousands and thousands of ideas of things that I want to do and all that. So it's Pam was a special bike, and she runs as good as she looks. S&S actually, when they had their 50th, which was when was it, Dave? 2008? Wasn't that their 50th anniversary?
Yeah, I was going to say it's been a lot longer than you might remember. It was a while ago.
So they S&S invited 50 builders to build 50 bikes for their 50th anniversary and bring them home to La Crosse, Wisconsin. So they asked me to be one of the builders, and they assigned me a twin cam motor, which I'm not really a twin cam kind of guy. I'm more of a panhead, knucklehead, shovelhead, but it was cool, and so that was the bike that we built around it. But one of the things, out of all the events I've ever been to, that event for their 50th was the classiest event I had ever been to.
Awesome.
And they had the red carpet laid out, so we got all 50 of these bikes in a room, and they had the red carpet laid out, and so they're inviting, they're calling the builder's name, and you walk down the red carpet and just waved, and so they called in no specific order, and when they called two guys in a row, and the MC was Chris McGee. Y'all know Chris McGee? Dave does.
Yep.
Chris McGee said, "Okay, that's two foreigners in a row." He said, "But this next guy, you get no more American than this next guy from Dallas, Texas." And Rick Fairless, and they said, in this room, you can pick out his bike from anywhere in the room. You can see which, and that was me.
Well, that's one of those, anywhere you go, we call that a 5-second rule bike. That's 5 seconds after you pull up, someone's going to go, "Damn, tell me about that motor. That's unbelievable." And that's what you're captivating, man. But that's what I think you're larger than life in every aspect, that you got that 5-second rule, man. And one more time, tell us why people need to come to Strokers and the lifestyle of the Texas lifestyle of your place, how you welcome them, the experience they get, and what are they going to take home with them that separates it from the other places they've been to?
Tie-dye.
A lot of people that come to Strokers, it'll be like, their wife came to DFW to visit somebody, and so the husband came along to visit Strokers, or a lot of people come to Strokers as a destination. So, people will say, they'll email me or Lena and say, we want to come check out Strokers on vacation, send us a list of hotels, and we do, and all that. And I give them a tour. We're 2.5 acres, so I give them a tour, and tons of people have emailed me and told me the highlight of our vacation was coming to Strokers, because it's just,
wow.
Like I said, it's a throwback to the 60s and the 70s. I've got dinosaurs on the roof. I got a 20-foot life-size giraffe that's tie-dyed. We bring in live music on the weekends. We have bikini girls selling beer. I got the Grateful Dead tour bus out there. I mean, it's just a very eclectic place where you see things that you're not going to see in any other motorcycle shop or any other bar in the country.
Well, that's awesome, Rick. How do people get in touch with you? We're almost out of time. Where do they need to go? Website, social media, your radio show? You got it all. Tell them.
Yeah, you can go to strokersdallas.com is the website. We're on all the social media under Rick Fairless. You can find my Facebook page, or you can find the Instagram and all that. And we do a Facebook Live deal 3 times a week. So it's just we're everywhere out there. I'm easy to find. If you just type in my name, if you want to see what I do, type in Rick Fairless in Google and hit images, and you'll see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pictures from me all over the country.
Well, we can't thank you enough, Rick. You're one of the good guys, man. Family, your mom, family, the whole 9 yards, you and your daughter. Thank you so much for being a part of Born to Ride.
Hey, thanks for having me on that. Dave Nichols is the best, and you guys are awesome. Anything we can do to support y'all, I appreciate it.
Man,
Thank you.
Let's
Thank
do
you,
a
Rick.
lot, Dave.
Thank you, Rick.
Always
All
great,
right,
Dave
thank
Nichols.
you.
Thank you, Captain.
Road trip
you
to
bet,
Dallas.
everybody.
Here we go.
Let's
Road
go.
trip.
Yeah.
Everybody, thanks for joining Born to Ride Radio on Boss Hogg Radio Network this Thursday evening. Have a great evening. Be safe out there.
Jeremy Brer. I own Fidelis Automotive, located in Valrico, Florida. We specialize in American and Japanese. European, I can get through them, we can get by them, but my main focus and specialized skill set is Toyota, Lexus, Acura, Honda, and all the Americans, Ford, Chevy. I started the repair shop back in 2012, formerly Fidelis Automotive Services of Tampa. I ran it from 2012 to 2015. This I did after I got out of the Marine Corps. I served from 2007 and 2011, Afghan campaign in Marj, Afghanistan. Now I work on everything from your sports car all the way out to your lifted trucks.
So, boys, what do you think? Norm, 8.5?
8.5, Norm.
What?
Only the missus gets a 10.
What's wrong with you?
You're out of your mind.
Well, it's not a bad score.
Come on.
It's okay, Debbie. We'll throw the high and the low out.
Thanks,
Norm.
Nate. All right, boys,
Okay.
I'm going to go change into something else. Thanks a lot, Norm.
It's not that bad a score. 8.5, Norm.
Come on.
Well,
Your sister's
Canadian.
8.5. That chick's a 10,
What the
dude.
hell's wrong?
It's not that bad.
Norm. 8.5. What do you got? 10, 10, 10, 10.
Yeah.
10, 10, 10. 8.5.
What the f are you guys doing?
Well, Rick, we were helping Debbie out with, her bikini thing, She
Did
asked
you
for
forget
some
about the Easy Rider guy supposed to be on his way out here?
help. Yeah.
All of you guys, I'm going to put you on the unemployment line and you're going to have a bunch of your buddies with you.
We were cleaning. We got half the shop clean.
You guys are going to give me a goddamn heart attack if you don't quit this. One day, I said one day, and you said, okay. You can't even give me one freaking day.
Well,
You guys are all weak and worthless, every one of you. You're driving me crazy.
Rick, what would you give her?
Hold on. 11.
Hey, thanks, boss.
Now get back to work, all of you freaking guys. And I better not catch you doing this again. Oh, hey. How you doing?
I'm looking for Rick.
That's me, Rick Fairless. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.
We've been waiting for you. I want to show you around if you got a little time.
Really? Yeah, I mean, if you've got time.
I got all day for you, sir.
Very good.
Come on, I'll show you around. You'll like the place.
I thought we paid to have this thing fixed already, Mom.
He paid a plumber a case of beer.
Well, that figures. He is such a cheap ass.
Can I have another one of these?
Oh, sure, honey. You like those?
Oh, these are great.
Well, you should. They got enough booze in them to float a battleship. They're Long Island iced teas, you know.
Oh, well. Here's to Rhode Island.
Salud.
Oh. Mom, would you mind calling Ricky again for me?
Well, I could, but he's probably gone to lunch by now. Why don't you just relax, have another iced tea?
Hokey dokey.
There you go.
Skull.
Pastovia.
Nice driveway. Mom, you're a very attractive woman.
Oh, thank you.
After World War II, my uncle came back from World War II, and he decided, because he saw Harley-Davidson during the wartime, that he wanted one. You know, it was at a point where African Americans couldn't even, people didn't want us to even have a motorcycle. But the history there, that he took the time to pass it down to my father. And African Americans they didn't want us to even ride motorcycles on the road. So him to get a Harley-Davidson back then, and, you know, that was big.
I purchased a bike from one of my friends beginning of 2020. He told me about another bike that he had a lead on, which was a 1952 Panhead. I get a call from my friend. He goes, hey, today's your lucky day. We're gonna go dig out that 1952 barn find.
It's just been sitting so long and a lot of the external parts look so rusted. It was almost like, what are you doing buying this thing? It was pretty unbelievable that it's never been opened up before. It's rare to find something that's 69 years old with all original components straight from the factory.
The bike that is essentially an original 52 Panhead that was purchased new in Charlotte from the Harley dealer. This might be the chance for us to go and grab it.
I was still kind of unsure on if I should buy this or not because the bike did look rough. It looked like it needed a ton of work. We didn't know if the engine was locked up or what the condition of it was. So I remember walking away and talking to Dean and saying, I don't know what to do here. I don't know what I should do. And he said, and I remember his exact words were, you won't find this again. You need to buy this bike. You need to purchase this bike.
I don't know what it is.
I think it's
And we started digging into it, and the more we started taking it apart and looking at things, the more we were like shocked that it was so original and so nice. Obviously, after a bit of research, we found out that that it was a 1 year only special color Bronco bronze, and yeah, it was quite fine.
My father would ride the bike. It was like a Sunday thing or a Saturday.
having 5 other brothers, he would ride the bike, and it got to the point where we inherited that, like, we want to ride.
The first weekend of August, they call it Big Sunday. On Big Sundays, what happens, everybody bring their new cars, their new whatever, and they show up. Well, my father and the rest of the guys on these motorcycles, and this is the motorcycle that my father would come up in.
It's really pretty wild to see this bike come together because a lot of people really doubted this project. I would say that the biggest challenge was sourcing the parts. If it wasn't for our friends in our community, we wouldn't have found the majority of the parts that we needed. So when we got the bike, there was a Freightliner parking pass in the windshield. It felt like that was a connection to the owner of this motorcycle. So for us, that was an important thing to make sure we put back in the windshield upon completion of this bike. This bike spent its entire life in Charlotte, North Carolina, and this bike continued to live its legacy with me here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Somebody rode this bike in the 50s, and here I am, 70 years later, doing that same thing on that same motorcycle.
You gotta understand that we are a Harley-Davidson family.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
If you ain't got a Harley-Davidson in our family, you don't have a motorcycle. I think my father have told her we was trying to go through it. Maybe he's got 7.
I've worked on a lot of motorcycles. I've had a lot of motorcycles pass through my hands over the years. This is the nicest bike I've ever owned or I've ever worked on.
When I think of Harley-Davidson motorcycles, I think about leadership. I also think about tradition.
Just a way of life, pretty much, way of life.
There's no other feeling in the world like riding a vintage Harley-Davidson. A special thank you to the Graham family for allowing me to be the next custodian of this motorcycle and to continue that motorcycle's journey.
We're out here in Stanfield, North Carolina at our friends Rick and Ramsey Allen's place. They have a very big collection of vintage Harley-Davidsons. So we're looking for some parts for the project, a few bits and pieces, but also to check out 2 of Rick's bikes, which are Bronco Bronze, just to compare a couple of things, the color to the tanks, and various little bits and pieces just for the project, to keep us on track and to make sure we're doing it right. We were looking at it and thinking, is there a black base coat under this bronze color?
Joe, our sheet metal guy, painted those tanks, and they were totally unmatched. Stripped it off and had them chromed and put that stripe on there.
You have to hunt. You have to know people, and you have to, in a sense, convince people to sell it because nobody wants to get rid of it. I think these are what I need for the front, right?
Yeah.
With the white lenses that I have. Yeah.
Finding all these parts is super difficult, and even though you can buy some things on eBay, there's just some things you just can't buy. So having friends like Rick and Ramsey is really important, and it also makes the project even more special because it feels like, you know, it's a family deal and everybody comes together for this one machine. It's very cool.
We're coming up on final assembly here. It's been actually to this day 3 weeks. Cleaning took a lot longer than expected. You know, at first talking to Jake, we wanted to keep a lot of the stained and, you know, some of the grunge that it picked up over the years. I mean, it's hard to find some of these parts as it is, but to find them in this condition is it's pretty mind-blowing. There's a lot of parts in there that you would just assume are going to be replaced anyways. A lot of bushings in the cam chest. There was 34,000 miles on the odometer, but you can really tell the engines have been babied and, you know, not abused. So you hear a lot of rumors of this is how they did it in the factory back then. No, they did it this way. You actually got to see for yourself how well it was built back in the day.
Bring me down.
Sunday night, 11 p.m. Tune in to Born to Ride TV Magazine on Facebook for a full hour special of Born to Ride TV. Brought to you by Rubenstein Law, the most powerful law firm in the state with 12 offices to fight for you. That's Sunday night, 11 p.m. 1 hour Born to Ride TV special on Facebook.
Is your business becoming invisible? Create a great advertising relationship today with Born to Ride.
Born to Ride.